So Bitcoin is at all-time high. You could argue altcoins are moving, but what is everyone doing? Are you freaking out? Are you waiting? Or are you asking, is it too late? Which most people are. Every single cycle, same old story. We're going to talk about it in length. And like the video, if you are happy to see Bitcoin at all-time highs, let's get over 1,000 likes. So here we are, Bitcoin is at all-time high. When I did a tweet about this or an X post not so long ago explaining, oh, we should go to that green box soon, I didn't think within 30 days from that point we would be up at these levels. It has changed a lot. But this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the psychology of it in terms of price and how it messes with people's heads, because I think it's important to note that we are getting in towards the FOMO season, so to speak, where people are like, oh my God, what have I done? I've missed it. However, people wait 2 years for this moment and now they get relatively scared about it. And I understand it, and we see this in every single cycle, and we're going to talk about it because it is very, very clear and obvious. All-time high, right, means you're supposed to feel a little bit unsure because you're going to question did I make a mistake here? Did I sell too early? Why didn't I invest here? Then it creates that dumb senses in your brain, and then that's what creates potentially the exit liquidity later down the line, because people start looking at the past of prior breakouts and they go, right, literally, right, if you go back in time, you'll see this. When we talk about, say, even this period here where we went above, 73,000, remember this little situation here, right? And what tends to happen is you tend to get a squirt to the upside where people are, oh my God. And then it's like, I've just got to get in. I've just got to go for it. And that's what's very, very interesting when you talk about markets like this, especially the cryptocurrency market, where it's high speculation. We saw it in COVID times. We saw it all the way along. And that's what creates that dumb situation. But the further it runs, the worse the train gets, so to speak. And you got to be very, very mindful. So yeah, I do talk a lot about this a lot on my Patreon in terms of the psychological stuff going back from the past. A lot of Bitcoin Alpha there as well if you're interested. But ultimately, you're probably going to start seeing people make some silly decisions soon. That's what's going to probably make the price go a little bit higher. Now then, let's talk about altcoins. They are starting to fly a little bit more in USD because of the price of Bitcoin. This is where we're going to go psychological, sorry. But the problem we're going to have is very simple. Bitcoin is currently leading. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you would know that I've been pretty bullish since April. I've been talking about alt seasons and people are like, what the fuck are you on about, you fucking stupid sausage? But at the end of the day, right, you're going to get that dawning on people that, oh my God, those USD prices are going up. But actually, not fully alt season territory yet, but it's certainly warming up. It's starting to tickle the feet now. And this chart here alone, the stable currency dominance is starting to full on downtrend. That's fucking obvious. That's like a stairway. Altcoins are doing exactly what we said they would. They will trickle up as Bitcoin grows, USD prices. But no one cared 3 weeks ago. No one cared 4 weeks ago because it looked like shit. Most people have missed the bottoms on that situation. But I said it in yesterday's video, there's still an opportunity here because those Bitcoin pairs have still not run. We are not in a quote-unquote full-on blowing alt season yet. But, as I say, it's the act of the illusion. The opportunity is here because when things go up, people feel safe to do it. And as I said in yesterday's video, people will look at, say, Polkadot, they'll look at Tron, they'll look at Litecoin, whatever, right? They'll go, I invested in that 4 years ago. I'm going to press the buy button again and just get into it. Because that's what people do. It's daft, I know. But I often talk about it. The most important chart you need, one, is this. Existing liquidity, is it going down? Yes. Well, as in, stable currency is going down, it's going into the market, liquidity go up. You get the idea. But what we need to see is these bad boys go up. And I've said it before, we've seen potential bottoms from that 7th of April date where things have kind of turned around quite aggressively. Every single chart has started to run up from that April time period. Nothing amazing, but it's enough to kind of make you go, okay. That doesn't mean full-blown alt season. What it means is that people are starting to change their behavior or they're starting to take notice. If you think mainstream media talking about the all-time high Bitcoin, they're going to look at why that is the case and why they're not getting involved in altcoins. And I already see comments all the time go, why would I want to buy Bitcoin? The opportunity to buy Bitcoin was months ago. You've probably missed the boat. But there's altcoins. They could run, but how much do they run? We don't know. And I get asked this question a lot, certainly on my Patreon recently. Can you tell if the Bitcoin number is going to drop? Well, yes or no. You can't really do technical analysis on it, but what you can do is look at existing liquidity. Where's the FOMO? Where's the hype? And ultimately, what if, right? The ultimate scenario with altcoins is, where does the dominance go? We don't know. Depends on Ethereum, depends on Solana, depends on XRP, right? And then it depends on everything else. Do the lower caps go? And we talk about it in fine grained detail. Others/BTC. Is this going to go up? Are we going to create a new high here? We talked about this before in previous videos. If we break up above here and start going to 10, 12, 13%, we're going to get alt seasons galore, and people are going to start notice their bank balance, so to speak, or their altcoin wallet, so to speak, go up and up and up. Then it will increase confidence, and that confidence of feeling safe, oh, it's going up, we're just going to keep going, will equal exit liquidity. Yeah, it's one of those. But we could also talk about the retail mindset. They ignore the bottoms, they complain during the accumulations, and they hesitate at the breakout, but they always participate when it's overvalued. That is literally it. They wait for the confirmation, then they buy the top every single time. No offense, but I know I'm talking about certain people who have probably become a cryptocurrency participant many, many years now, because you did that at a certain point. We've all done it. I've done it myself. So you got to hit those emotional notes of disbelief, fear, and the desire not to get left behind when retail come in. And we're not there yet. I could talk about a lot of things about this in terms of social media accounts, my growth on YouTube, whatever it may be, but ultimately traffic as well. Alt season in terms of that situation is not here yet. But as I say, when things start going and changing, we're going to get into it. And I mentioned it in a video not too long ago, the market breadth is getting larger. And we're seeing it even on here, where not as many things are down in the triple digits. So, well, I wouldn't say triple digit, but you know what I mean, into the 30s and 40s, where months ago it was. Now it's starting to get, hold on a minute, everything's starting to go green now. So things are starting to change, definitely. But you got to think, these are the top performing coins versus Bitcoin. That's why it's different, the Bitcoin pair. Problem is, we're going to get so many things go up in the USD prices, and everyone's going to be like, oh my God, what is happening? That's where it's going to get interesting. And I could talk about a lot of things. You could look at a lot of those things and go, well, they're going to go up. Yeah, probably will be. But via the previous all-time high, are we going to get towards those points? Maybe. But it depends on so many things. But all season could trigger at any moment. That's the situation we could find ourselves into. And it could take one catalyst, one news story, one bit of information, one asset just to go berserk for it to really kind of take, effect, so to speak. And that's what we've seen before in the past. And we're probably going to see the same again, because it's that psychological element of it. Now, questions I get asked an awful lot, and I do say it a lot. What am I doing? I still hold Bitcoin, right? I've been holding 92, 93% of my portfolio is pretty much Bitcoin. And it has been for a very long time. I'm incredibly happy, but also incredibly attached to my Bitcoin. Sorry. But what I'm holding in terms of that is also important. I'll go on to that in a second. But I am also, as I said before, I'm trading with leverage on altcoins because it's the easiest way to make more Bitcoin longer term instead of getting blown up. And I talk about that a lot. I want to rotate. And I talked about, in my video on Monday, I'm a bit neutral on altcoins because I think if Bitcoin leads, it might not pump as much. Even though, right, literally, as I talk about this right now, I have gone long on Solana. I think we're going to go and pop up a bit higher here. So I have gone long on momentum. But the reality is here, Bitcoin is still leading. That is important. If Bitcoin rejects its all-time high and goes back down like a couple of $1,000s again or whatever, it's going to hurt the altcoins. And that's because dominance is high. We've got to remember that. And we can't just go aping into altcoins on the back of, oh my God, Bitcoin's gone all-time high. Bitcoin really needs to get into a stride now. It needs to really get going to 120K. And then we need to start seeing, as I said before, Bitcoin dominance dropping. We need to see USD dominance drop even more. We need to see others.d and others/BTC and the total 3/BTC to bottom. This is the one that needs to bottom. This one needs to start going up now. That is the one, right? Others/BTC, as I mentioned, yeah, great. It's starting to show some sign of life. But the entire market against Bitcoin is not really working yet. But maybe Bitcoin flies, it'll prop it up a little bit. However, the one thing and the one play that I talk about a lot is runes. I know. They're waking up. Kraken are going to be listing dog. That's huge, by the way. These have started to really do well. Over the last 30 days, they're up quite a bit. You may not have noticed, but they are starting to churn up a bit. The volume's increasing. That, to me, is my high-risk, high-reward play. Risking 5% of my portfolio for some Satoshi gains and to make more. I've made a decent chunk on them in the past. They do work out if you are buying the said lows and the most obvious. But don't chase pumps, don't chase the hype, because you can bet your bottom dollar these will take off like a rocket during certain listings that will happen, and everyone will be missed opportunity as usual. That's just how the mindset works. So welcome to the FOMO phase. You either use it or you get used by it. Simple as that, really. But please don't chase green candles. You know, look for the opportunities, look for the plan. If you have got conviction in a certain area and a certain asset, go for it. But you also need to remember to save profit. You also need to remember that these markets are brutal and they will kill you. It is absolutely psychological, and it's a reason why 90+% people will get absolutely destroyed. And when Bitcoin is at all-time high, people look, right? They do, they look. And that's where it gets painful, because they miss out, they make dumb shit. And it could well be a 6-month situation where we end. Don't be at the end of that. Christ.